Live from Kansas Speedway here on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network for the fourth race here of the Red Light Scrambler Series in the Xfinity cars. I'm Gary Weaver, proud to bring you this action. This is race number 4 of 15. We're going to go racing into the night right now at Kansas. Welcome everyone, we're going to have an exciting night of racing for sure, because tonight the Red Light Scrambler Series takes to Kansas Speedway for a decent amount of time, definitely under the lights for sure, as next week we'll be looking ahead towards Auto Club. For now, we're going to be heading here for 90 laps. I am Gary Weaver, bringing you the commentary and the camera work as per usual. Don't worry, there's more than just this one camera, as we are currently under qualifying for the time being. The main time is about 4 minutes, as you can see, and Sean Butler, well, he's already locked in, he's fine, but he's got some sparks there out the back straightaway, off turn number 2, I should say, but either way, he is managing to hang on to that car as much as he can. Unfortunately, that last lap will be invalidated through iRacing standards, as he did make contact with that outside wall. This time by, he's going to be trying to make another round at laps. I may be wrong, though. We have 17 drivers scheduled for this race, as, well, here's the second driver that is locked in to the playoffs here for the Scrambler Series. This is the 42 of Max Terrio. He's been locked in pretty much ever since Charlotte Motor Speedway, race 1, where he took the victory unexpectedly from Sean Butler after Butler had qualified for the pole. And finally, after 2 weeks of qualifying on the pole, Sean Butler had managed to win last week at Lime Rock Park over in the trucks. And he's currently on the pole once again, as Terrio makes his lap time complete. And to figure out if he's going to move any position, he will not. His highest position, though, was a 4th place on the timing screen. Sunset here at Kansas, definitely for sure going into the night. We're going to have a very beautiful sunset in the background throughout this race. It's going to ride on board. Let's take it just right on board here. I was going to say we're going to ride on board with Max Terrio for about a lap, but you know, you can see for sure that the top side is the way to go. Here's Tim Blum. Let's see if he's going to try and make another attempt. He's currently 8th place under timing. Let's see what he makes this time by. Top side is going to be the way to go around Kansas Speedway here. Unfortunately for the track, this does not, as oddly enough, does not have caution lights around the track. So figuring things out from a moment of caution is going to be quite difficult, if need be. Ryan Oldani in the number 98 Mellow Yellow machine this week. It's a very nice paint scheme. Oh, just barely scraping the wall off turn number 2 there. It's the 981 Patrick Orr. If you're new to watching this series, well, this track, well, not this track, but this series indicates rookies by the number 9 in front of their car number, and then just whatever car number they want, and essentially a triple-digit car number. So 981, in this case, Patrick Orr is a rookie for the season. Same with the 903 of Tony Strano and the 984 of Christopher Rothrock. Well, qualifying is about to end here in about 15 seconds, and we will get to your starting grid once this timer counts down. And we will be going green for 90 laps. So an extra 41 seconds for drivers that are making their way around the racetrack. As I see the L1, Richard Murdoch definitely having a little bit of bad luck. Apparently worse than Charlotte. Most of these drivers are in pit road. Kyle Souza is going to be pulling off the track. Rothrock, I believe, also pulling off. Kevin O'Brien just finished his lap time, so he should be relatively done with qualifying. So that means the leader at the end of this, your pollster, I should say, is Sean Butler. So congratulations to him on, I believe, the third pole in a row for this track. Leo Bordage is not, I repeat, not the leader. That is incorrect in terms of scoring over on ATVO. So we will get this up as we have Sean Butler starting off in the first position. To his outside, it's going to be the number 28 of Brandon Minto. Once again, lights are coming on, track is cooling down. So it's going to be a massive change from these drivers where they have practiced, for the most part, in the daytime, or at least the setting sunlight here at this track with IRC's new day-to-night transitions. Even though it's just about a month old at this point, it's still exciting, and I love it. As we have starting in third place outside of day-night transitions, Eric Johnson in the 33 will be rolling off in third as William Long in the number 12 rolls off in fourth. Rounding out the top 5 is Joshua Buckley, who was 1,000th of a second off of getting 30 seconds even. Max Terrio sets virtually the exact same lap time. We have to look at the fourth digit for that one, but unfortunately that is not possible as of yet. So Terrio will be starting in the 6th place position. As 2,000ths of a second behind both of those drivers, just going by the third digit, is Richard Murdoch. He starts in 7th. 8th place will be the 86 of James Skelton. And then running out the top 10 will be Tim Blum in the number 10, ironically starting in the 9th place position. And DJ Anderson in the 51 rounds out your top 10. We have Ryan Oldani and Patrick Ord starting 11th and 12th. 13th and 14th will be Tony Strano and the 4 of Kyle Souza. Brian Phillips and Christopher Rothrock start 15th and 16th, and rounding out your top 18, your 18-car field will be Kevin O'Brien and Leo Bordage. "90 laps" is the number today at Kansas Speedway. Will we see Sean Butler be victorious once again? He's already locked into the playoffs along with Max Terrio. We'll find out who can survive to the 90th lap, or at least finish at the 90th lap. As the green flag is out, we are underway. As scoring cycles through, Eric Johnson, look at the number 2 of Buckley and the L1 as the caution is out already. They're making some moves on the inside. DJ Anderson, heavy damage early on in this race. He unfortunately didn't even make it to turn number 2, which a caution is out already. And he just came down the 98 twice even. Oh, hard shot to the outside, the 981, a quick rollover as well. Patrick Orr had nowhere to go. Leo Bordage, you saw, avoiding the incident on the inside, just ever so slightly. I'll take a look from his onboard. Oh, he got really lucky there. Unfortunately for the 981, he wasn't too lucky as he actually got involved in that wreck just in front of him too. Oh man, just no time to react. Unfortunately, DJ Anderson is pretty much out at this point, already in pit road. Is that number 981, repairing as much damage as possible. So early on we are under caution, just for a little bit of a misjudgment of space. That's a great move by Joshua Buckley though on the start. Same with Richard Murdoch in the L1, who was still in 5th, unfortunately for him. He started 7th though, so he did manage to advance 2 positions as the field is officially under caution. Under pacing, I should say, beginning the few laps that we have. Tony Strano, Brian Phillips, Kevin O'Brien, Kyle Souza, Christopher Rothrock, and Leo Bordage all on the pit road very early on in this race. Rothrock has... Oh, he's having some serious issues getting into his pit box. He's trying to get into his pit box. He's not losing a lot of time. And he's finally in this actual pit box, but he definitely overshot that pit box for sure. As we will get a replay of that. Coming into his pit box. Yeah, oh, that's a definite overshoot right there. And the 184 of Kevin O'Brien. Both of them had to back up into their pit box. Unfortunately, the 984 having the worst of luck. But he will actually... He'll be fine on the exit pit road, I believe. But he should be fine either way. He'll stick with the field and he will stay on that lead lap as Rothrock. So let's see what the lights do this time by, as Brendan Minto is apparently out of the race. Lights are out. Not sure what happened to Minto. We get a quick replay if possible. Not sure if he was involved in the wreck earlier on. No, he just pulled off the racetrack. He actually had a bit of a connection issue. But he did just pull off the racetrack all of a sudden. So we are about to go back green as we are currently on the back straightaway. The lights on the pace car, but the lights on the racetrack have other ideas in mind. As around the racetrack, the lights are pretty much on. You can see some of them from some angles, but those white dots over there, well, those are the lights, and they'll be playing into effect into this race as pace car will be pulling off as it comes after number 4. Taking on board right along with William Long in the number 12 for this restart. As Sean Butler holds the field up ever so slightly, waits to get going, still waiting, bunching the field up, green flag is out. 86 laps to go this time around. Already a great start by multiple drivers, everyone getting along very cleanly this time around. Buckley finally gets up to second in that number 2, but he just barely cuts off tip. Oh, Johnson. And they definitely made some contact for sure with that one. Look at Tim Plum in the number 10. We should have just kept riding on board with him, but look at, oh, he's going to protect that position as much as possible. 33 Johnson goes all the way up the racetrack, almost into the outside wall practically. For position at number 3. crossover attempt could be coming. No, actually defensive maneuver by Blum, forcing that 33 to run the top side, but that top side is basically the preferred line around this track. On the start-finish line, it was Johnson in third, and that number 33, Tim Blum, oh my goodness. Almost doored the 33 on the tri-oval exit. He's going to be falling back very quickly. He's going to have to somehow find a space in line. That's going to be in front of 12 of William Long, in position at number 5, but for the time being, everyone all single file. So this race could essentially come down to pit strategy as we have a battle for multiple positions. We're going to take a look at this one. James Skelton gets by Ryan O'Donnell for position at number 8. Crossover could be happening, but Leo Bordage trying to hold off Rothrock and Phillips for the 984 and the 39 respectively. Kyle Souza has a great view of us right in front of him. Watching this battle side by side, listening to the sounds of the engines. As Phillips on the low side, and that 39 tries to get around Rothrock. It's not going to happen, and he won't be able to get up to the top side now. Which is essentially, again, the crucial line around this track. Now, this could be a 3-wide situation here. Matt Souza's brought into the mix with these two battling constantly side by side. Now Souza's going to split the middle. He almost split the middle 3 wide. But he's got space on the inside. He just moved the 39 out of the way. In a way, helped the 39. Corner entry may not be the best idea, but he's going to try and make it work. Almost contact, almost in the outside wall went Rothrock. Someone with the best view of this here is Phillips. And at that low speed off the inside is going to help Phillips get alongside the 4 of Souza. Almost scraping the wall in turn 3 is at 39, but Souza is on trying to get on a tear. At the moment, he's just stuck side by side. Brendan Minto is back in this race, as he's over in the back straightaway. Kevin O'Brien is the driver that's going to be joining in on this battle. These two keep battling side by side. He left the throttle just a little bit. Oh man, squeezed in front of there at that 39. Well, Souza forced his way up into the preferred line. Right now, side by side, it's going to be both of those drivers and these two drivers. The 903 and the 7 is Tony Strano and Leo Bordage, respectively. A lot of side-by-side action here. You're not missing much in the top 5. Well, never mind, because Richard Murdoch is finally making a move on the Buckley. Not using the lowest line possible, but using the low line as much as he can. Almost slid up into him. And Murdoch is going to be falling back, unfortunately. Now, side-by-side with Terrio for a few moments. As William Long, as we ride on board with him. Oh, protecting that top side is not going to work for Murdoch. And that might work for Murdoch, though, because he just barely managed to get in front of the 12 there. So Joshua Buckley is safe for the time being. As far as the battle, well, that is still ongoing between Rothrock and Phillips. Phillips has scraped the outside wall. Phillips is actually fallen back a little bit. It's Kevin O'Brien down to the inside. Very far inside, mind you. He's definitely not taking any chances. getting a little bit of momentum on the top side is going to be Brian Phillips. And while Sean Butler continues to lead, ever since the race start, a hard shot to the outside. Twice. As we rode on board with the 39 there. Kevin O'Brien got a great view of that. Unfortunately, he wasn't really close enough to make anything happen. So trying to get away from the outside wall is a little bit more crucial than just running the top side here at Kansas. Because that right front tire is going to be worn down a lot throughout this race. Going to happen again to the 39. Will he slide up into the outside wall? He will not. Kevin O'Brien could have kept it in the throttle, but he decided not to do so and just play it safe. As far as fourth place, Buckley is falling back. Look at Richard Murdoch on the top side, trying to get around the 12. 12 is protecting the top side as well. William Long actually has the 2018 Xfinity car banner on the top of his windshield there. Very, very smart design. I actually really like that. So William Long with an impressive looking car, actually. Joshua Buckley going the Brad Keselowski route with his. Right now, William Long is trying to fend off Richard Murdoch, who's practically bum drafting him down the tri-oval. Oh, top side of the wall got Joshua Buckley. You can see the reaction that he had. He decided to dive way low just so he didn't even interfere with anyone else's line. Right on board with the number 2 from his back bumper. For the time being, as we are on lap 20 of 21, well, 20 of 90, I should say. Sean Butler has been in the lead for all of these laps. Eric Johnson trying to catch up in whatever sense possible. Tim Blum just riding around at this point. Same with the 42 of Terrio. Joshua Buckley, William Long, and Richard Murdoch, who dives to the top side, finally getting around the top side. It may work, it may not work, you never know. Off the corner. Oh, almost made contact there. As the 12 really falls back, he's going to get passed by Skelton as well from 6th to 8th. 2 positions pretty much ever from the back straightaway. Joshua Buckley trying to fend off Murdoch in a sense, but at this point it's not really used to. And there goes number 2 of Buckley. He's falling back directly behind. Look at Skelton. He just popped out right there from the back bumper of the number 2. Quickly making the pass. Oh, this could get a little bit sketchy. It almost did. Skelton almost slid up. William Long trying to get back into this battle as much as possible. He's finally on the top side. Oh, almost made contact. That was insanely close. They're still oh my goodness. This is not going to end well, is it? Oh, that was a great shot right there, though. My goodness. Pretty much right on top of that quarter panel. Oh, man. That was very close for William Long. Props to both of those drivers for giving space while turning, mind you. Look at that. Skelton trying to get whatever position, trying to get by. Buckley in the outside wall again. As the gap remains to be about a half second between Johnson and Butler. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the race, because that was a pretty close moment, and I don't doubt now I'll have even closer moments after that. Buckley's going to get in the outside wall again at that rate. He almost did. He's trying to hang on. It's not working out too well. You can see the beautiful sky in the background as these drivers race around this racetrack. A second has collapsed. Or not even a second. 1/10 has shortened between Butler and Johnson. So they're now at 0.4 seconds worth of distance. Max Terrio still in third. Tim Blum still in fourth. Murdoch fifth. Here's Joshua Buckley. He's in sixth, with William Long just directly behind him. Don't count out James Skelton here in the 86. He tried to make a move earlier on. We could be getting green flag pit stops in a few laps time. But until then, Buckley's going to have to worry about the driver directly behind him. Maybe both drivers at this rate. They're going to have to work together to get around that number 2. Riding on board with the 86 of Skelton as he's currently 8th place. Trying to get alongside that number 12, but he'll back off for the time being. Smart move by Skelton. Top side, yes, he does. He hesitated, but he's going to get even. He's going to get as close as Long got. Long is going to back off. Smart decision. He's going to let Skelton go by. Probably let him do all the work for getting around that number 2 of Buckley. Keep in mind, this is position 6, 7, and 8, which are Buckley, Skelton, and Long. As Max Terrio has fallen to 5th by Richard Murdoch. Sean Butler still under attack. It's now just above or just under 0.3 seconds. As now it's fluctuating as of right now. Here's the visible difference between Johnson and Butler, as it looks like Johnson is going to head to pit road early on. Lap 29 of 90. Joshua Buckley doing the same. Same with Skelton. Ooh, Ryan O'Donnell also in pit road. Watch the pit road speed. So that's going to be their downfall. 4 drivers in pit road, which are Eric Johnson and Joshua Buckley here in the number 2. The 86 of James Skelton. The 98 of Ryan O'Donnell. Very great stop to his pit box is Ryan O'Donnell. As also in pit road, Sean Butler will relinquish the lead to Tim Blum, who takes over with 60 laps to go. Richard Murdoch in at pit road, along with Max Terrio and William Long. So everyone on this racetrack has pitted at some point except for Tim Blum. So he's got a lot of time to work with. Question is, how much time? Will anyone mess up? Ooh, Terrio. Or, sorry, that isn't Terrio. That was William Long that just barely locked up his right front tire. There goes William Long to pit road. Kyle Souza will now take over the lead here at Kansas. He hasn't pitted, actually, I don't believe. Leo Bordage also has not yet went to pit road for green flag pit stops. Tim Blum definitely in pit road. Christopher Rothrock, Kevin O'Brien, they're in pit road. Same with Max Terrio. Max Terrio has been in pit road for 30 seconds. He's got to be repairing damage. It's hurting him heavily, though, for the time being. Oh, Kyle Souza maybe out of fuel. Now he's actually at the pit road. Different camera angle. As first and second, Kyle Souza and Leo Bordage, they head to pit road. So that means, as we're waiting for scoring to cycle through, we're going to watch the 33 and the 88 battle side by side. Remember, Sean Butler in the 88, he was the leader just before they both went to pit road. And it looks like it's going to be these two that are going to be taking over positions 1 and 2, as Souza and Bordage are currently in pit road. So Eric Johnson takes over the lead from Sean Butler through pit stops. Waiting for it to officially score across the start-finish line. Kyle Souza made his last lap lead because he crossed the start-finish line before the 33. So everyone has went to pit road at least once for today. And across the start-finish line, it should change now to Eric Johnson. There it goes. As Eric Johnson takes over the lead from Sean Butler. He was closing in ever so slightly. The gap was fluctuating between both of those drivers before they went to pit road. So as we watch we're seeing Sean Butler, if I can correctly speak English, as we're watching Sean Butler try and chase down the 33 of Johnson. We're going to be seeing if there's anyone else nearby or anyone else in position. It's going to be changing soon. Well, guess who's back? It's all three of these drivers. Joshua Buckley is in third, fourth place. James Skelton, fifth place. Richard Murdoch, William Long in sixth. All these drivers just can't seem to leave each other unless they're taking different lines, like right there. Some drivers take the apron, some drivers take the actual racetrack instead. And look how close Tim Blum is on the back bumper. He'll be making a move on Ryan O'Donnell for seventh place on the back straightaway, as they're going to be even down the back straightaway. So Ryan O'Donnell falls back to 8th in the number 98. And Eric Johnson has just gotten passed by Sean Butler. He's going to make a crossover. He's not going to let that lead go too lightly. He doesn't have the quickest momentum. He's got just a little bit of it. Just barely scraping the outside wall as that 88. And we will get a replay of that pass for you for the lead that Sean Butler made, actually in the trial, well, not even in turns 1 and 2 like I thought it was. But Sean Butler back in the lead after this pass. Dived right down. Left side tires almost on the white line completely. Very, very great diamond maneuver right there. So as we watch Eric Johnson seeing that lead ever so slightly slip away. We'll be taking a look at other battles throughout the racetrack, and this is definitely one of them, because Joshua Buckley continues to fall back. Oh, almost got doored. Oh, got doored. Joshua Buckley is going around in the back straightaway, turned by the 01. Caution is out for the second time today. Just after pit stops as well. Somehow, some way, that was only a 2-car accident on the back straightaway. Joshua Buckley just got too aggressive in trying to save that. He was clearly on the outside. Oh, wait. Well, it's a matter of both drivers, actually. Richard Murdoch wanted to, well, take a look at this in slow motion from the same camera angle. As well, Richard Murdoch was going to go up into the outside wall. He reacts to get away from the outside wall. Buckley tries to move up and squeeze Murdoch, but he just holds his line at the last second, and then next thing he knows, he's unfortunately getting turned right at the last second. Some drivers that managed to avoid that was William Long, who was directly behind that as well. And there's the contact. There it is. Oh, Tim Blum almost got a piece of that as well. As we're definitely going to take a look at that. Also, these drivers are actually back in pit road as well. So we will actually head to pit road live. As first off pit road, looks like it's going to be Eric Johnson at the line. Yes, he will. Second, Sean Butler. Third, James Skelton. Fourth, the 01. And fifth off is William Long. Brian Phillips has not yet went to pit road in this sequence. Neither is Kevin O'Brien, Christopher Rothrock, Tony Strano. Those are your top four. They're probably going to head to pit road in a few moments when the pace car comes back around. Well, since we're under caution, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, as we are just about to get to halfway here for the Red Light Scrambler Series at Kansas. Second caution of the day. Will Eric Johnson somehow, some way, be able to hold off the 88 of Sean Butler?
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Back live here at Kansas Speedway, where Eric Johnson has taken control over the lead through pit stops from Sean Butler for the second time today. And unfortunately, just not being able to catch a break whatsoever is Sean Butler. And that 33 is going to have to quickly take advantage of this restart while he still has it in control. A little bit of a, looks to be a Dale Earnhardt Sr. throwback paint scheme. So Johnson's gotten both drivers, essentially. Jimmy Johnson, in the form of his last name, he's got a Jimmy Johnson paint scheme at Charlotte. Now with the 33, essentially with the 3, this would be a Budweiser-inspired paint scheme for Earnhardt. It could just be me, but either way, we're back under green as James Skelton is all over the back bumper. And somehow, someway, look at how close that 86 is on the back straightaway. As they come off the back straightaway, Johnson's got to choose the perfect line to protect that lead. It may as well just be the top side, as Skelton is getting held off, is trying to hold off the 88 of Butler. Both of these drivers are on the same team of Need for Speed Motorsports. So William Long is a little bit ways back. Skelton and Butler, the 86 and 88, they're on the same team, so they're going to have to either work together or maybe complications could happen. Then again, sometimes at some races it is every man for themselves. Right now, Skelton is actually a little bit faster, or the 88 has backed off just ever so slightly and giving him room as we are officially 45 laps complete, 45 laps to go. We're halfway at this point in the race as Tim Blum in the 10 is making a move on the L1. Not trying to, at least on the back straightaway. It could happen here during turn 1, or turn 3. Turn 3, I should say, but Tim Blum decides to back off and just ride it out for the time being, since there really isn't much to do. It's a very smart move. sometimes all you will have to do is just fill the mirror up of that driver that you're just directly behind. And that's exactly what Terrio is doing to Leo Bordage in the number 7, whose paint scheme is a little bit incorrect. I hope someone on hopefully a pit crew member on Leo's team can quickly mention that the paint scheme does not look like how it should look. Just a slight FYI. Unless that's just me, and that is how it's supposed to look. But it's the back portion of the car, but either way, it's still running straight and smooth, so that's a good thing. It's all that matters. It's down to the inside. Finally goes Terrio, but it's not going to happen. You won't be able to get the inside lane preferred. Managed to look to the inside, almost got there, but nothing really happened. As Need for Speed Motorsports is currently at 2 and 3. Trying to use the apron to its advantage is going to be the 88, but for the time being, Richard Murdoch is still holding off the L1 of Tim Blum. Sorry, the number 10 of Tim Blum. Look how close on the back straightaway. That's the second time we've seen that today. Ryan O'Donnell got the best view of that one for sure. I'm pretty sure he was hoping that they would wreck, just not directly in front of him. Making a move on the top sides. Blum gives room in that number 10. Saying, you know what, you want the outside, go ahead and take it. I'm still going to get the momentum on entry. There's the momentum. As for second place, oh, teammates battling side by side. Skelton got around on the top side as the 88 tried to make a move to the inside. 40 laps to go this time around, with William Long lurking in position number 4. Richard Murdoch held off Tim Blum for 5th. So nothing much going on for the time being, but Eric Johnson has extended the lead gap from 0.3 seconds to what is now 0.6 seconds ever since the restart. And that will explain why the 88 wants to get around the 86. But he's going to ride it out for the time being, save his tires, and just conserve everything as much as possible. Down to the inside, decides against it, bump drafts the 86 down the back straightaway. That's pretty interesting. Never really see people bump draft out of a oval like Kansas, Kentucky. What is essentially called a cookie cutter oval. A D-shaped oval, I believe, is the correct term for this track. But to the inside looks the 88. Nothing happens as of there. And all of these drivers are still insanely close to each other. We're going to wait because I'm expecting the 88 Sean Butler to make a move here on the inside. But Joshua Buckley, Max Terrio, they're still right next to each other. We'll switch to them if the 88 isn't successful here. He doesn't get to the inside quite yet. Well, quite there. We'll take a look now as Terrio moves around the top side of Joshua Buckley. So caught the tail end of it. Oldani. Really, really hard shot off the outside wall. Off turn number 2. Ruining that paint scheme. Then again, the back right quarter panel is also ruined in that case. Kyle Souza makes his way on the inside of Leo Bordage for the top 10. Tries to at least a little bit of damage as side by side it's going to be Tim Blum and Max Terrio. Almost making contact there off the corner, but managing to hang on to it for the time being. Leo Bordage trying to defend against Kyle Souza on the top side. Inside's preferred passing, but preferred racing lines the top side where that number 7 is. Off turn number 4, it's going to be Souza in position number 10. You can see Bordage in that 7 machine trying to make a crossover attempt. He did a great job, and that sort of loosened up the 4, but only because he got on the outside wall on the travel exit. Unfortunately for him, though, nothing out of that, unfortunately for the number 7. Nearing 30 laps to go here at Kansas Speedway. And possibly for the most laps led was by Sean Butler for about 30 laps. Only 31 laps just at the last second. So Eric Johnson could take over as the driver with the most laps led for this race, as Sean Butler has finally gotten to run James Skelton a few laps to go, but right now it's about 0.8 seconds separating both of those drivers. It looks like it's extending just ever so slightly, this gap, but right now Sean Butler is trying his best, very best that he can, to reel in that number 33. He's doing a great job right there off turn 4. Riding on board inside the number 88. I'm going to do that with a gyro cam on Sean Butler. One lap around Kansas. And with 30 laps to go, we're going to decide to shut off the microphone for a little bit and just let you enjoy the sights and sounds here of Kansas Speedway. My goodness, whoever thought of naming that is a little bit of a tongue twister there. But other than that, enjoy the sights and sounds here at Kansas. 30 laps to go, 29 at the start-finish line. So pit stops for a second time, and as you saw during that limited segment, unfortunately for the 42, he really overshot that corner and completely destroyed the right-hand side of his car. He's going to spin entering pit road as well. So much bad luck for the 42 of Terrio. It's a great thing that he's locked into the chase after winning at Charlotte. First race of the season as well. As we barely saw it at the end of the camera, but we're going to get another angle of this one. There's a transition from the banking, and almost a little bit more damage. So unfortunately, once again, Terrio has got to spend a very long time in his pit stall. As Buckley is down the way, Ryan O'Donnell gets his first lap led. Brian Phillips in second. Third, Kevin O'Brien. It's Murdoch is currently in pit road. There's 86 of James Skelton soon unlapping himself. 25 laps to go. As James Skelton is chasing down the leader to try and unlap himself. The entire field is a lap down for the most part. The only driver that is not a lap down as of now is Sean Butler. So Sean Butler, Brian Phillips, who's currently in pit road, Kevin O'Brien, who is more than likely heading to pit road by the sound of it, and Ryan O'Donnell. They're all four drivers on the lead lap. And right when I say that, fifth driver unlaps himself. That is Eric Johnson. So Ryan O'Donnell comes to pit road. Will Kevin O'Brien decide to do the same? He will not. He'll stay out for another lap. Across the line, leads his first lap lead of the day, or of the night, with 23 laps to go. Two cautions in the first half of the race. That almost was a third right there because the 0-1 was pretty close on the top side. Oh my goodness, that was even closer. It seems Kevin O'Brien's lucky he's out to pit road, and he's actually staying out even longer. He's trying to stretch this run as much as he can. He pitted 3 times today. Kyle Souza with the most times heading to pit road 6 times. Max Terrio, after a 15-second pit stop, completely normal for about 4 tires and fuel. He is on the racetrack still, but he's a lap down. And he does have a little bit of front-end damage as well on the front of his Chevy Camaro. Kevin O'Brien stays out with 21 laps to go. Sean Butler's a full 16 seconds back, 16 and a half now. And Eric Johnson is about 2 seconds behind Sean Butler. So that means when the 184 heads to pit road, Sean Butler is going to get the lead back from Eric Johnson. And there goes Kevin O'Brien down to the inside. He's heading to pit road. Oh, almost did the same thing that Terrio did. Downshift and almost spun it. Nope, never mind. He does spin just at the entry of pit road. He will save it, though. Keep it going. And Sean Butler is going to take over the lead here in a few moments. And so we'll come off of turn number 4. Who's going to get to the line first is my question. Nope, there's the answer. Sean Butler just at the last second. 33 laps led. With 20 laps to go. And at 1.7 seconds separates Sean Butler from Eric Johnson. For the time being, we're going to take a quick commercial break. If any caution does happen, we will immediately cut back live with the replay. But until then, this is the Racing Line Broadcasting Network, and you're watching the Red Light Scrambler series here. With 19 laps to go, Sean Butler has taken over the lead once again. Will he reign victorious for the second week in a row as Eric Johnson attempts to close the gap? Stay tuned. Back live here at Kansas Speedway with 15 laps to go. Welcome back to the Racing Line Broadcasting Network, continuing to bring you this action with 14 and a half laps, well, 14 laps to go at the start-finish line. I am Gary Weaver, doing commentary and the camera work as per usual. Sean Butler has lost a significant amount of time, about a second at this point, just before we head to commercial. He had about 1.6 seconds, or 1.1 seconds, I believe, actually, just before we headed to commercial. And now, it's about 0.7 seconds to Eric Johnson, who continues to close the gap. And he's continued to close the gap ever since we had gone to break as well. 13 laps to go and 0.6 seconds, 0.5 seconds now separates Sean Butler from Eric Johnson. So Eric Johnson, hopefully, he's hoping to be the third driver to lock himself into the chase. That'd be very appropriate for the number 33. That's because there's a number 3 in there. 13 laps to go this time around. As you can see, he's just at the edge of the shot, continuing to heavily close this gap. Eric Johnson is going to fly straight by that 88 in a few laps if he keeps up that momentum. Gap continues to close as they head down into turns 1 and 2 for the 78th time tonight. 0.2 seconds now separates. It's essentially an official race for the lead. Continuing to close that gap as much as possible. This Eric Johnson, he's trying to regain that lead. He wants to regain that lead as well, no doubt. He's got once. He could do it again, but he lost it on pit stops. 1 lap fresher tires as well. Which is even more interesting because both of these drivers' pit lane times, their total time on pit lane, for Sean Butler is 40.9 seconds. Eric Johnson had 41.2 seconds. Pit stop time is 1/10 advantage to Sean Butler. 14.3 second pit stop, 14.4 second pit stop for Sean Butler and Eric Johnson respectively. 10 laps to go, 9 at the start finish line the next time they cross. A little bit of a scrape on the outside wall to Sean Butler. How long can Sean Butler hold on to this lead? Because he's got that 33 breathing down his neck. Trying to fake out whatever positions that they're going, whatever line they're going to run. Johnson peeks to the inside, decides against it. He's not going to use the inside lane yet. He might here. He might not. He looks to the inside once again, but doesn't make the move. It's a smart strategy, playing mind games, filling up the mirror of the driver in front of you that you know you were faster than because you just chased them down without any help whatsoever. Now you just have to get by them. That's the real challenge here. Fully under the lights. As we had a little bit of sunlight just before we started this race. Point of no return will be 5 laps to go. When the caution comes out with 5 laps to go, the race is essentially over. For about 6 laps to go, well, it just depends on where the leader is at the time, because the pace car will have to leave pit road to pick up the leader and the rest of the field. So we're 2 laps away from the point of no return, but right now the point of no return may be coming soon for the 88. He makes one mistake with the 33 breathing down his neck like this, and it's pretty much all over. A little bit of a lower line exit by Johnson. Taken to the apron is Sean Butler. You can see Johnson not using the apron, staying just above the apron. It is legal to use the apron as there is a white line instead of a yellow line. Coming to 5 laps to go, the point of no return is essentially right now. And Eric Johnson is going to have to dive, well, not exactly make a dive bomb maneuver, but he's going to have to make something similar in a safe manner He's going to move to the inside. He's going to force the 88 Butler to use the top side down to the inside for the move with 5 laps to go. Couldn't get it done in the tri-oval or the entry turn number 1. He lost the momentum, unfortunately, for Eric Johnson. Johnson's going to try again and wind it up, restack himself, go for it again. He's got 4 laps to do so as well. Moves down, looks to the inside, could attempt a crossover here on top of that back bumper. He's got to try a fake out, inside straight up to the outside at the last second. Or outside straight to the inside, some type of a crossover, backs off there. He had the momentum, but he didn't want to clip that quarter panel. That's the distance between both of these drivers right now. And it could be over because down to the inside slightly. No, can't get it done again. He keeps peeking to the inside. He manages to make it. Now Johnson follows. He is desperate. 3 laps to go. Will Sean Butler get another win stolen from him in the closing laps of this race? Happened once before at Charlotte. Will it happen again at Kansas? Sean Butler's won 2 races. Eric Johnson hasn't won any. And the first race winner, first driver to lock himself in, Max Terrio, was all the way back in 9th place. About 30 seconds back from the leader. Sorry, about 26 seconds back from the leader. Nope, 20 seconds. 2 laps to go, and Eric Johnson's got to make a move as soon as he can. Will he make it off turn number 2 is the question. Butler hits the wall. This could be it. Outside, down to the inside. Oh, my goodness. Sean Butler hit the outside wall, but Eric Johnson had to check up. He must make contact, and that was the case. Sean Butler is getting so much pressure right now. Top side goes Johnson, trying to steal the top side. 1 lap to go. And this is going to be it. This is the white flag. Final lap. Can Eric Johnson close? Can he make it happen? It doesn't seem it will happen. Sean Butler's going to have to hold him off. Will Johnson put the bumper? No. But Butler does seem to go a little bit too far, but he'll make it. Oh, and outside the wall. On the outside of the wall. In the outside wall, I should say, goes Eric Johnson as Sean Butler finishes and wins his 3rd race in a row. First Dover, 2nd Lime Rock Park in the trucks, and now in the Xfinity cars, Kansas Speedway. Congratulations to the 88 of Sean Butler for this win. As 2nd place is unfortunately Eric Johnson. 3rd place, James Skelton. We'll be getting an interview with all 3 of these drivers. No commercial break before the interviews this time. It's going to burn it down. Oh, there he goes. Oh, he almost had it. Maybe doing it in the grass. He's going to park at the start-finish line. It'll actually park right here. Perfect timing. Perfect. Yep, there he goes. That's what he's trying to do. A bit of a drag burnout. It's going to go into full-on donuts. Sure, anger the landscapers. Other than that, Sean Butler, your winner, as Eric Johnson finishes in 2nd. 3rd place is James Skelton as celebration begins, and the damage, trying to pass post-race inspection, is Sean Butler. 4th place will be William Long. 5th place, Tim Blum. Richard Murdoch, Joshua Buckley, Max Terrio, Kyle Souza, and Ryan O'Donnell finish 6th through 10th. And the rest of your field, Leo Bordage finishes 11th, 12th, Brian Phillips, 13th, Christopher Rothrock, 14th, Tony Strano, 15th. It's going to be Patrick Orr, 15th. 15th is going to be Kevin O'Brien, 16th, Patrick Orr, 17th, Brendan Minto, and 18th is DJ Anderson. So we're going to bring in your race winners here. We're going to bring your race winner in, the rest of your top 3 in a couple of moments. That consisting of James Skelton, who does not seem to be up. No, he actually is available. So I have James Skelton, Eric Johnson, as well as your race winner, Sean Butler. We're going to start with James Skelton here in just a couple of moments. All right, James Skelton, do you have us?
Yeah, I got you, Gary.
Congratulations on your third place finish. You managed to put a great run in. You actually did start in, as I double check here, unfortunately, managed to start in eighth place, made 5 positions up into a top 3. Congratulations on that. How was the track out there compared to practice all the way throughout the night?
Well, I don't really think it changed too much. I mean, it was just, really, really tight, especially through the middle. I struggled through the middle of 1 and 2. I mean, the only difference is, as the track progressed and got, darker, so your lines are a little bit different. Just your markers or what you're seeing. But overall, I would feel that, or I would say the track was pretty consistent throughout the same rate through the race.
Yeah, that usually is the best kind of track to deal with as well, especially essentially transition race, as what this was. Just barely started in the sunset, then actually went through into the night. So how was the pit stop strategy for you? Because, well, again, you managed to keep it clean and off the outside wall, as well as 3 pit stops worth of just essentially solid perfection, enough to get you a top 3.
Yeah, for sure. Since I started in eighth, I was thinking try to do a little strategy to get some position because I felt like I was, really a third place car is where I felt, especially with the practice and little practice race we did yesterday. But my teammate Sean, who won the race, he was saying he could get 30 laps. So I had to try to make it, 2:30, and then some cautions came out, and then it's really just trying to pit maybe one lap before somebody so you can gain that position on them. That's what I did on Will. It's just to pit one lap earlier because passing's just so hard out there. It's just easier to pass them on pit road.
Yeah, how was the passing out there as well, considering that it's the inside line instead of, well, pretty much any other line?
I mean, yeah, the only time I could actually get a run and pass somebody is coming off 4 and then just try to maybe act like you're going below them and then just trying to get a nose above them.
Yeah, a little bit of different grip, like you mentioned. Unfortunately, had a little bit of technical issues there with the swapping out, unfortunately. But other than that is definitely interesting to know. So before we let you go, anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to for your third place finish?
Yeah, I'll definitely give a shout out to my teammates, Sean, who won the race, Josh, and then DJ. Sean and I, we did some practice throughout the week, and it definitely helped. It's not always a track that I particularly like, so third place finish, I'll definitely take it. Thanks again, Gary.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for your time as well. We're going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations once again on your third place.
Awesome. Thanks again.
So that was James Skelton. Next up, will it be the number 88 of Shaw? Oh, sorry, actually getting ahead of myself here. Number 33 of Eric Johnson in a couple of moments as soon as we get a pretty good camera angle of his vehicle. Other than that, he managed to start in third place and he just managed to make one position up. And while he had a very, very interesting run, we're going to get him in here right now, actually. Eric Johnson, do you have us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you managed to almost reel in Sean Butler there throughout the end. He got into the outside wall. You checked up as well, but my goodness, you still managed to reel him in though from about what 2 seconds back. So that in its own right is very impressive.
Yeah, I was trying everything. I saw I was gaining on him, and I hit the wall and I hit his car, and it slowed my momentum. I wish I was on the inside more because I could have done something with that. But man, I wish I had that to do over again.
Yeah, he almost had it as well. He could have dived to the outside too, or the inside rather. But other than that, though, second place isn't too bad, especially since you did manage to lead a few laps in the process of this race as well.
Yeah, it's a good race, and man, that was tough up there with Sean. You don't get much opportunity to beat him.
Yeah, especially after he's been so dominant in the past. It's probably about 2 weeks, 3 weeks actually at this point. So on the bright side, they did manage to actually make your way up to second place after starting third. So how's the track handling out there? At least the tire wear.
It wasn't too bad. The car started pushing pretty good on entry, so I had to really back up that corner. And I found if I kept my left sides on the groove, it hooked better for me, and that's what was helping me out. But and I'd like to thank everybody at Red Light Racing, you broadcasting, and it was a good race.
Oh, you beat me to my next question. So that's good, though. We're going to go ahead and let you go. Congratulations once again on your second place.
Thanks, Gary.
I definitely have a good one indeed. I've had a great one because this was actually pretty interesting. That's a wonderful finish there. It was so close. But unfortunately, though, for Eric Johnson, he wasn't able to knock off Sean Butler, who has somehow managed to win 3 weeks in a row. Oh my goodness, what have you done to your car?
But the luck of the Patriots is with me here right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Pats, baby. But and of course, I didn't change my wheels, so it ended up being a shout out to the Red Sox too, with the Green Monster tires. They were green there. So, anywho, yeah, it's just crazy luck there. Eric was definitely faster than me. Obviously, he run me down 2 seconds there, and it's just so hard to pass. And I made one little mistake, but he made it with me there off of two, and then that's pretty much was the difference there.
Yeah, you got really lucky, though. Somehow you managed to get ahead of him a couple of times just through pit stops as well. And you managed to hold him off after he ran you all the way down for about, I'd say, pretty much the entire last 20 or so laps. So that's impressive in its own right, as well as winning 3 weeks in a row. So again, my goodness, that is absolutely insane. Well, heading into next week at Auto Club, what are your thoughts?
We're getting back into the Cup car. It's nighttime. Who knows? It's all gonna depend on how it drives, and it's gonna take a lot of holding on to that right front there, because it's a track that eats up tires, and that's been my problem lately. I think my tires are probably the worst off there in the top three, but being out front is what helps, and it'd be the same way there. If you can get yourself out front and not make any mistakes, you could have a good night. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it brings. It's been a while since been Auto Club, so I'm looking forward to different tracks, different cars. It's kind of fun. But and then after that, we go to Stafford, which I don't think I've ever been at, and then it's gonna be a different car, so that should be interesting too.
And it's going to be the K&N car, I believe. So that completely throws the entire loop into about everything. But it's going to be exciting while it happens as well. So anyone that you'd like to give a shout out for your third win this week?
Shout out to my teammates, Buckley, Skelton, and DJ, unfortunately, who wrecked out in lap one tonight. Especially DJ, he does all our paints. He didn't do this Patriot paint job. I just went and grabbed one real quick, and but maybe I'll run another Patriot one next week, see if I keep the luck going.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see if that does happen. So we're going to go ahead and let you go celebrate once again. So congratulations on last week and this week. And we hope to interview you again next week.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So that does it for oh, wrong button. That does it for tonight, as next week we will be, well, next Sunday, I should say, we'll be heading into Daytona International Speedway for the My Turn Racing Truck Series as they take to that racetrack for, unfortunately, I do not know how many laps at the moment, but definitely know by the time the event rolls around. And, well, as mentioned, the Auto Club Series, the Red Light Scrambler Series heads to Auto Club Speedway for next week as well. So it's going to be a pretty interesting week. We are back to 2 days of commentary, or 2 weeks, I should say. We're possibly also bringing on another series, the Fuel IndyCar Series, for Thursdays. So we hope to see you then, and we'd like to congratulate Sean Butler once again on his third win somehow This dude is absolutely impressive for winning. Can anyone knock Sean Butler off his throne? And can anyone somehow manage to enter themselves into the Red Light Scrambler Series chase for the final few races of the season? I've been Gary Weaver, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.